Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Expat Conversations with your host, Michael Nolen. Expat Conversations is an outreach to the University of Guadalajara Institute of Investigation, Innovation, and Governance, which is headed up by former General Rector of the University of Guadalajara, Dr. Marco Antonio Cortez Gradado. I want to say thank you very much to Dr. Cortez for allowing us to have this expat outreach for the expat community that lives here in Mexico. Also want to say thank you very much to the Monte Carlo Hotel for allowing us to film all of our episodes here. It's a beautiful resort on the beautiful Lake Chapala. If you're ever down here in this area, need somewhere to stay, unbelievable hotel. They've got a thermal spas. They have beautiful pickleball courts, great restaurant, swimming pools. So if you're going to be down here, if you're an expat in your association or group, need somewhere to have a really, really nice place to host an event, please remember the Monte Carlo. Today I have a very interesting young lady that has quite a unique background here and around the state of Jalisco. Gabriela?
Hi, I'm
How
so
are you?
happy to.
Would you please
to be here.
say your whole name? Because everybody knows it's hard for me to say Hispanic type names.
Okay, my name is Gabriela Serrano Susana.
Serrano. I can start to roll my R's. As I was telling her, my favorite R's to roll is Rolls Royce. So anyway, I understand you were in charge of culture and things like that for the state of Jalisco or for the municipality of Zapopan. Can you kind of give us your background, your bio? Because you know it better than I do.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, I had in charge the direction of culture from Zapopan, Jalisco. And that was for 3 years. And then I decided to retire. And I came to Chapala. And well, I was just in the contemplation mood, like for a year. But then the state of Jalisco, the Minister of Culture, she asked me if I wanted to work with them and try to do something with the museum, with the Centro Cultural González Gallo. And I thought that it was like a very wonderful opportunity for me, like to give a little bit of the things that I know how to do it and I really love for my new home, that is Chapala.
Yeah, because there aren't any other museums or artifactual places here. And there's a great, great rich history because this lake is the largest body of water in all of Mexico. And there's been many, many villages for hundreds of years.
Right.
Around the lake because it was such an important body of water. And there's been a lot of culture and a lot of change and who knows all the real history.
Right.
But there's a lot of things here, but there's never, that I know of, been a museum or anything to recognize all the artifacts that they find, the history and all of that. So you helped start a museum, and is that kind of part of what it does?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I would like to remark that it is something wonderful about the culture in this town. Because it's such a small town, and we do have a lot of culture. It comes from the expats. There is a lot of artists, and also the local artists, and also artists that they come to live here. You always have something wonderful to do about, cultural events.
Mm-hmm.
And they just opened another museum. Efrain Gonzalez is a painter from here, and he just opened his museum that they have wonderful pieces. And what about our museum? Used to be a train station in 1920, and then they had to leave the train station because the water from the lake went very, very high. So they got all
Flooded?
Yeah,
Well,
flooded.
wasn't it President Diaz of Mexico that brought the trains from Guadalajara over here to the Chapala Lake area?
Well,
And
I think we talk later about Porfirio Diaz.
Okay.
Because they're like a little myths about it.
But I know that he did bring the train as he was president of Mexico, he did bring the train service over
Well,
here.
the project wasn't his.
Oh, it wasn't his, okay.
No, it was from.
Well, I know he has a house here, he had a house
Yeah,
here.
well,
Okay. Well, you tell me the history, because I'm just a
yeah,
neophyte.
well, then they just abandoned the museum because it was just water. And it was like this, like for 50 years. And then even a lot of people, families, they used to live there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did a like arrangement with the government from the state, the government from Chapala, and another association that it calls Adopta una obra de arte. They start to do like a lot of movements to get the money to restore the building. So they did it, and then it started being a culture center. So, and now we have it as a culture center because we also do a lot of workshops for kids. We have like 75 kids taking classes from music classes, theater classes, dance classes. So it's beautiful because we have a lot of kids in our
Well,
place.
it's very important
And
to teach and train the children in the old ways so that culture doesn't get lost.
exactly. And well, now we have a museum, like I think is really in a position with a wonderful events. We do have every Sunday, we have wonderful concerts, and it's been beautiful because every time we have more people and more people and more people, even it's people coming from outside of the town just to be in the concert. So it is beautiful. And we do have a lot of activities, like, of course, we always have an exhibition. We just opened an exhibition 2 weeks ago from Javier Mascaró. It's an artist, it's a Spanish artist.
Mm-hmm.
So I really recommend everybody to go and see the exhibition because it is beautiful. And well, it's a lot of work, behind all this. It's not so easy to bring an exhibition from an artist from Spain.
Sure.
So, and I think he is a very important artist. We just opened it, 2 weeks ago. So I really recommend everybody to go and see the exhibition.
One of the museums on the far east side of Chapala, if you're kind of coming into town, you go on the Malecon, or if you're coming from like Guadalajara, you can take the cutoff there, going towards Soriana. It goes down and hits, and then you go to west of San Nicolas.
Right,
If you go east to San Nicolas, but you turn right and just go down a couple of blocks.
right.
Or if you're by the Malecon, you can just turn right or go straight. It's a big, big yellow building.
Right,
And when I say yellow, it's kind of like mustard yellow.
right.
Has that always been the color of it, or is that just something that's pretty new?
It's another
It sticks
thing.
out.
I think it was like lighter, like off-white.
Mhm.
I would like to put it someday off-white. But since they restored the building, the architects and the whole committee
Mhm.
that did have all the restoration, they decide because many arguments that has to be that color.
Well, you do have a permanent collection of art that you have there, and it's paintings, statues, what all is
no,
in there?
we just have like a very small permanent. Is from George Rauch. He was a painter that he used to live here, and he donated few pieces. But all the time we have a different exhibition. Like before this one, Javier Mascaró, we had another one. It was Deborah Kruger. She's from New York. So we had that exhibition, and then now we have Javier Mascaró. So like every 3 months or 4 months, we change.
You change it?
exhibitions.
And is it open 7 days a week? What are the hours it's open?
Well,
Please give us.
we
that.
rest on Monday. Is open from Tuesday to Sunday, from 11 to 5 o'clock.
Okay,
Sundays, it's just from 11 to 2.
okay. And you have special events on Sundays?
Yeah.
From 11 to 2?
We do have every Sunday 12:30, a concert, a wonderful concert.
With local artists or maybe people from all over?
No, from all over. Yeah. Well, these like today, because we have concert not just Sundays, but Sundays is always, all Sundays you're gonna find a concert. But like today we have a wonderful concert, jazz concert. Is the name of the group is Triálogo. They're from here, and they're really, really, really good. But also we have like book presentations, or we have workshops, and like in summer we have wonderful workshops. We have more than 100 kids.
And your workshops, are they more catered to children, or is it for the expats, or
For
anybody that wants to
everybody.
come?
For everybody.
Is there an admission to get into the museum, or is it?
Yeah, it is. And like we do have, like 2 months ago, we have a book presentation, and it was wonderful because we had the translation, at the same time. It was in English and in Spanish. So we really try hard to do most of the things in English.
Well, one thing about the Lake Chapala area is there's a lot of artists
Yeah, a lot.
in a lot of different molds or forms. You have painters in acrylics and paper and oils, and you have charcoals, and you have a lot of sculptors. You have a lot of metal welding and things like that. There's just about every kind of art imaginable. People come down here from all over the world, and they have their own little studios and their own little shops, but they also like to exhibition their art in different places, and this gives them a great opportunity to display.
Right. The thing is, we need, like in that case, if somebody wants to present his art or his skill or their job, and the only thing we ask for it is like to present a project, because there is a curator committee. So we receive the projects, and then we decide which one is going to be where, or if it's going to be or not. Because we are part of 14 museums in the state
Of Jalisco.
of Jalisco. Yeah.
Are you all involved with the University of Guadalajara? Because I know they have several large museums in the city of Guadalajara that they bring, just unbelievable
Yeah, what they do, of
exposition. I know
course.
several years ago, Guillermo del Toro
Yeah.
decided to take a bunch of stuff out of his Los Angeles home and bring down, and they had an exposition there for
Well, the
about 2
museums
weeks.
in Guadalajara are wonderful. Musa, for example.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's part of the university. They bring some incredible
Right.
art. And then we had the Peter Gray Museum in Puerto Vallarta at the campus there. There was a very generous man that when he passed, his wife donated most of his art to the University of Guadalajara, and they named the Peter Gray Museum after him.
Right.
And they have his permanent collection, which is about 180 different works of art, plus different artists coming in all the time for a month or two, putting out different types of art. And they've had several very important artists from Guadalajara. One man's name is Gradado. He's somehow related to Dr. Cortez Gradado, but he had an art exposition there for a while, and it's just amazing all the talent, not only the locals,
Exactly.
but also the people, the expats that have come down here.
Exactly.
There are some famous artists that
Of course, of
that,
course.
that have been down here.
This Sunday our concert is going to be violin and piano, and one of the artists the musician who's going to play the piano is Expat, that he lives here.
Oh, wow.
And he's wonderful. His name is Timothy, and he was also the director of the Zapopan Orchestra. So he's really good. You are invited this Sunday.
Do you have a website where people can go and see what's on and a schedule for the future, what's going to be happening in the next month or two, or who the next exposition is going to be coming in?
Yeah, well, we do have all that information on Facebook.
Okay.
The name of the page is Centro Cultural González Gallo.
Central Cultural
González
Gonzalez
Gallo.
Gallo.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit difficult, but
Well, it's
you're going
okay.
to see a yellow building, and then you have all the information what we're doing.
And it's open Tuesday through Sunday,
right,
and Sunday's the day you have your special events,
right.
okay?
Well, usually I do have events, not just on Sunday, but Sunday for sure.
You ever have like little wine parties, little gatherings, like one of the expat groups wants to have an event? Can they contact you and possibly rent out the space for the day or whatever?
Yeah, it depends what kind of event, for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
we do rent the place for, usually for culture events.
Well, what else would you like the listening audience to know about the museum or other activities that are going on around the Chapala area that you're familiar with?
Well, it is really unbelievable, like, as I told you, how many events we have in the whole Rivera of Chapala. It's just to be aware, you know, in the social media, because there is a lot exhibitions that we have, a lot of galleries, really good quality exhibitions, concerts, book presentations. Like yesterday, they had a talk about contemporary art. Santiago Baeza did the talk, and it was wonderful. So if you want to do something really wonderful, cultural events, you're going to find a lot.
Is there a web page besides that they could contact you personally about if it's an artist, an expat artist, and wants to maybe do an exposition, or someone from, you know, another country, like you've had Spain, a lot in Mexico. Was there someone there from Colombia a while back? Did you have any exposition? I know there was one, I think it was maybe in Ajijic. But in our little town, Ishualacan, where I live, he came and put his art at our cultural center for like a week and a half. Then I think he did something.
Oh, I think I know. It was like tapestry, right?
Yeah, it was kind of tapestries made out of metal. It was really unique art, because I went over and looked at it, and it was really
I have to confess to you something. I cannot go to all the things.
Oh,
we
I
have in
imagine you
this.
can't.
It is crazy. It is unbelievable, but it's wonderful.
Is there a general website that talks about all the cultural events?
About
that's
everything?
Yeah, about things that are going on in the Lake Chapala
No, and I
society,
think,
Lake Chapala area.
you are going to do that.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe the university.
You're
could
going to
put-
let us know all the events we have.
I think I've got enough just taking care of my own personal
I know.
life.
It will be
besides that.
wonderful.
But it would be great.
It will be great.
Well, I
to have
work with
just like
Aurora
one
Michelle
page.
a lot. That's the expat liaison for the city and municipality of Chapala, and maybe they could put stuff on their website.
Well, there is like Lake Chapala Society.
Yes.
They do a lot of work about that you're talking, because they have a magazine.
Yes.
And like usually we gave them all our program, like
Oh, great.
for a month.
So everything's
you
in
can-
that.
I
or
don't know
the
if
webpage.
everything, but yeah, you can find a lot of the cultural events in the
Okay.
area.
Let me ask you another question. I know in December or January, there's going to be a huge event that celebrates the bicentennial of Mexican-United States relationships,
Yeah.
the 200 years. And I know there's going to be a lot of cultural events going on through the United States consulate, and maybe the Mexican government. Are you familiar
No,
with that
I'm
much?
not familiar with that.
Okay.
Sometimes I do something with the American consulate, but like 3 months ago, we have a wonderful talk, and it was, you know, they were the sponsors, but no, I don't know about that again. Maybe
Well, as
they-
you mentioned, there's so many things going on around
Yeah,
here, it's just
so
hard to
many
keep up with
things,
everything.
right.
I live over in Ishualacan de los Mombrillos, and the inside of our church, all the murals are painted by I guess, a famous local artist named Zagora. He also teaches art classes at the Lake Chapala Society. He's an older man, but I think
Isidoro.
Gazora, Zagora. I don't know exactly how to
I
pronounce
don't
it.
understand what you're saying.
But he's an artist,
Yeah.
and he painted a bunch of the murals our church is dedicated to Saint Santiago.
Is
in
that
Islam
Efrain
Khan.
Gonzalez?
Man,
Efrain Gonzalez, no?
that may be him. I just
Well,
know it begins with a
there is
Z.
a group of local artists that they really are masters. Like the first exhibition we did in our museum, it was them. You know, all the local artists, like they're really masters.
I don't know if you've been to Iswala Khan, but he painted a bunch of the murals on one side of the church 35 years ago. And then about 5, 6 years ago, he updated them, and then he painted a bunch of more murals on the other side of the church. And in Iswala Khan, we have kind of the history of that area, painted with a lot of the important people.
Yeah.
I think there's about 12 figures there, and he painted all of that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's beautiful for a little village over there, about
Right.
3,000, 4,000 people.
Yeah, the streets
We've got a lot
are
of culture
full
over
of
there
art.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, it is so beautiful.
Now, DEEF is a senior citizens type program. Are you familiar with them at all, or do you have anything?
With who?
DEEF, D-I-F. It's a governmental organization for expats.
For kids? No.
Well, not for majors, for senior citizens.
Okay.
And I just didn't know. I know they have different programs in different areas: art, music, sculpture, things like that, cultural events.
Yeah. Well,
But
no,
you're not
no,
involved with
no.
them at all? Okay. Well, we're about out of time. I just want to know if there's anything else you want people to know about yourself or about the
Just
museum, or?
invite everybody to come and visit us. You will find beautiful things to enjoy.
Is any of the art that comes on exposition or exhibit for sale?
No.
It's
Well,
not a gallery, it's more of a
Yeah,
museum.
but like that exhibition that we have now, if you are interested in one of the pieces, you can contact the artist directly
Okay,
and you can buy the pieces.
okay. Well, again, I want to say thank you for the information about the museum. Thank you for all you do for the community.
Thank you.
It doesn't really sound like you are very good at being retired. So I think you get a D.
Exactly.
But, because you work so hard, you're probably working as hard now as you were before.
Yeah, maybe I work harder because
Maybe.
in Zapopan I had a big team. And here we are just 2 persons
Well-
doing all this. So,
My grandfather told me a long time ago when I was a little kid, if you find something you love and a passion, you'll never work a day in your life. Because it's a love, it's a passion. And that sounds like
that's,
what you've come into.
that's what it is. Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you
Thank
for
you for the
inviting me.
information. If you do have something big coming up in the future, please contact us and let us, talk about it a month or 2 in advance and get the word out to the expat community. So, but thank you very much.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate it.
Thank
We
you.
look forward to seeing you
Thank
again sometime.
Okay.
Be sure to go to the museum. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. You'll have a great day. Be sure to go to one of the cultural events, the book readings, the signings, whatever. And if you have any more questions, you can contact me at my webpage, which is 104.3 wakeupshow@gmail.com, and I can give you her contact information or whatever you need. But again, thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Expat Conversations with Michael Nolen. We'll see you again.
Happy trails to you until